Sahajanand Swami Maharajani Jai. Like every Keertan has a story behind it, this Keertan has the making of a saint behind it. मैं हूँ आदि अनादि आतो सर्वे उपाधि. Created by Lalji Suthar, a carpenter who was well established in his profession, staying in Shekpath village of Jamnagar, born to Ram Bhai and Amrit Ba, who were staunch disciples of Ramanand Swami. Lalji Suthar was so much in love with Ramanand Swami and God that he requested Ramanand Swami to allow him to renunciate and become a saint. Ramanand Swami accepted the request, but he said that not right now. Let your time come and you will be made into a saint at the right moment. Lalji Suthar continues to live his life waiting for that moment. Those times child marriage was very common and parents had made Lalji Suthar marry with Kankubai, and both of them had conceived two children, two sons, Madhavji and Kanji. A sansarik life is going on. He is a grahastha, but he is totally immersed in God. Ramanand Swami was Swaminarayan Bhagwan's Guruji. After Ramanand Swami passed away, Ramanand Swami gave the throne of spirituality in the hands of Swaminarayan Bhagwan, and he became the Guru of Uddhav Sampradaya. So Swaminarayan Bhagwan is now the Guru for this family. Once when Swaminarayan Bhagwan was traveling to Kutch, he took a halt at Shekpath village and decided to grace Lalji Suthar's house to stay as a halt in his journey. Lalji Suthar, out of love, asked Swaminarayan Bhagwan to give him some discourse. Swaminarayan Bhagwan said, I am ready to give you a one-to-one discourse, but there is a condition that if you doze off, the moment you doze off, I will stop the discourse. And if you don't doze off, till the time that you are listening to it with full awareness, without dozing off, I will continue to give the discourse. He gave him allowance that your routine work, like bathing, like your workmanship, your carpentry, whatever you want to continue doing, you can do while I am giving the discourse. But the only condition is you are not allowed to sleep. Lalji Suthar accepted this challenge, and believe it or not, the discourse went on for 18 days and nights. On the 18th day, Lalji Suthar dozed off for a fraction, and Swaminarayan Bhagwan says, challenge lost. Now I stop this discourse. But imagine the yearning and the seeking of this seeker, that for 18 days he kept listening to it without shutting his eyes. And imagine the love of this God for us seekers, that he for straight 18 days and nights didn't sleep and kept talking and giving a satsang to Lalji Suthar, because he knew that he wants it. How much ever we want him, he will keep giving us an unlimited supply of satsang, of discourse, of gyan. It's how big our vessel is, he can keep serving his infinite grace on us. With these 18 days of blissful satsang, now God decided to move to Kutch. He requested Lalji Suthar that you are such a nice seeker and a beautiful company to have. I'm heading to Kutch and I don't exactly know the way. If there is somebody who knows the way, I would love to have the company of such a person with me, but that person should be a very nice seeker and a devotee like you. So can you ask somebody to accompany me tomorrow morning? And Lalji Suthar said, I know somebody exactly who will fit this criteria, and he'll be ready for you tomorrow morning. Next morning, Swaminarayan Bhagwan is about to leave. Lalji Suthar is standing right there, and God asked, who's that person? Send him. He said, you said you want a seeker like me, right? There is no other seeker like me who loves you like this. I am your assistant for the next few days who will take you till Kutch. So if you want somebody like me, you might as well have me. And both of them left for Kutch. So that on the route there is comfort and convenience for God. Lalji Sutar carried three things. One is sukhdi, a sweet dish that is made out of flour and sugar, and that is something that he carried, that if God feels hungry, he will offer him sukhdi. He carried 12 coins as currency so that he can take that with him, and if there is anything that requires some exchange of money, then this would be of help on the way to buy something. And the third thing that he carried was water, so that if God feels thirsty, he can feed him water. Swaminarayan Bhagwan thought that now I need to renunciate this Lalji Sutar, and the time has come. The story unfolds like this. On the way, first, what they find is a very poor person. And God, out of compassion, said, Lalji, I think he is hungry. Give him the sukhdi that you have got. Lalji Sutar gave half the sukhdi to him. And Swaminarayan Bhagwan nudged him that why are you only giving half the food away? Give him all the food. Don't possess anything. Don't keep anything for us. Just give everything away. Lalji Sutar was worried that if God would feel hungry, what would he offer? He was not worried for himself, but for God. But he still followed God's agnya, his instruction, and gave it away. After some time came a gang of robbers, thieves, and they checked everything that God had and Lalji had and tried to take everything away, but they found nothing. Lalji had hidden the coins in a corner of his foot. Swaminarayan Bhagwan told those robbers and thieves that I don't think you are very great at your profession. And they said, why do you say so? He said, there are some coins with Lalji and you couldn't find them. You don't know your job well. Lalji was astonished that why is he hinting them so clearly and helping them to rob them. If they need money further ahead, how will they have anything? But as God wanted and wished, the thieves found the coins and they left. A little ahead came a dying man, an ill person lying on the road, and God instructed Lalji that give him all the water that we have. He is thirsty, he is dying, he needs the water more than us. And Lalji gave him all the water. Now Lalji Sutar had nothing left with him. He had no possessions. As they went ahead, there was a shore on which they rested. At the shore, Lalji felt very thirsty, but the sea always has salty water which never quenches the thirst. And he expressed to God that, God, I'm sure you are also very thirsty, but this is salty water. We gave everything away. How will we quench our thirst? And God told him, go and fetch water from the sea. He said, but that will be salty. He said, trust me and fetch the water. He fetched that water, and that water turned out to be as sweet as it could be instead of salty. It quenched all the thirst that they had. They both were satisfied, satiated, and Lalji tried to fill some more water in the bottle that he had. And God said, I worked so hard to let everything go off you, and here you are gathering things again. We don't need any water on the way. I have already made you experience that I could turn salty water into sweet nectar like water. Why are you worried? You still need possessions, or you trust me that I'll take care of things? And Lalji got the message. He didn't carry any water with him, and like God, he also went ahead with zero possessions. On the way came a village called Adhoi village. This village is where the in-laws of Lalji Sodar lived. In this village, God asked Lalji, go and ask for bhiksha, for food. God never possessed anything. He asked for food from people, cooked that, and that's all that he possessed. Lalji Sotar was a little reluctant. He said, this is the village of my in-laws. How will it look if I go and beg here? He was a little resistant to this. God said, what if I do something that they don't recognize you at all? Lalji said, that's a good idea. If they don't recognize me, I'm ready to go there. Lalji agreed. God transformed him into a saint, made him wear saffron clothes, shaved his head off, and Lalji was what he had dreamt to be, a saint. Swaminarayan Bhagwan named him Nishkulanand Swami. Nishkul Anand, the one who belongs to God, who has no jat, path or kul now. His only kul is God, and he is full of bliss in this renunciation. He went to his in-laws' place to ask for food, and just by changing his clothes, he was not unrecognizable. So his in-laws immediately recognized him, and they said, oh, you have become a saint? We didn't even know this. And what about your wife and your children? How can you become a saint like this overnight? And what will happen to your family? They were devastated. They reminded God that God, there is a rule to renunciation, that each seeker has to take the permission of his family before renunciating. So at least allow him to speak to his wife, to his children, and seek their permission before taking such a big step. God completely agreed. God knew what was going to unfold when he goes there. He asked him to go to his village, meet his family, and seek permission. Which family would easily give permission to their only bread-winning member? Lalji didn't even have his father living anymore. So he was the sole earning member. Although he had accumulated enough wealth and possessions to last for his family a lifetime, but it was a father we are talking about, it was a husband we are talking about, it was a son to a mother we are talking about. And it is not easy to renunciate a family member like this. To explain to them or to seek their permission to happily agree to this step, because it was always a calling and a yearning. It was always told by Ramanand Swami that he is going to become a saint. Everybody in the family was aware that it's only about a time to come when he would renunciate, and he should be allowed to do this because this was what he was born for. But to win their confidence and agreement, he scripted this first bhajan of his life. मैं हूँ आदि अनादि या तो सर्वे उपाधि सद्गुरु मिलिया अनादि मिट गई सर्वे उपाधि के मैं हूँ आदि अनादि या तो सर्वे उपाधि. I am eternal, you are eternal. We are just ignorant because of the illusion created by God. We have finally found the Supreme Lord through Ramanand Swami, Swaminarayan Bhagwan, the Creator, the All-Knower, the All-Doer. Now our ignorance should go away. Don't try to possess me. He has made me overcome all my possessions, and here I am to free you all, to liberate you all, also from this bondage. कहाँ काष्ट ने कहाँ कुल्हाड़ा, कहाँ है गढ़हन हारा. जब ते मोए सदगुरु मिलिया, मिट गया सर्वे चाड़ा के मैं हूँ आदि अनादिया तो सर्वे उपाधि. Where is the axe and where is the wood and where is the carpenter? Everything disappeared in the moment that he gave me these clothes. From the time that I became his and he accepted my request to become a saint, all these things are no longer me. कौन कूड़ ने कौन कुटुंबी कौन मात ने तात अरे कौन भाई ने कौन भगिनी ब्रह्म हमारी जात के मैं हूँ. He says all this is an illusion. I am your brother and I am your father and I am your son, and all these relationships are merely illusions. We are all the soul belonging to the Almighty, doing this role play, taking this birth for a temporary moment. But in reality, we are all souls. You are not losing anything. I am just giving you back your God and your identity. So don't feel that something bad is happening to us. An awakening is about to happen to our whole family. नहीं रहया मैं नहीं गया मैं नहीं सुधरा नहीं बिगड़ा हमें हमारा कूड़ संभार्या मत करना कोई झगड़ा के मैं हूँ आदि अनादि या तो सर्वे उपाधि. Don't fight for me to stay here. I'm not staying, I'm not going. I'm not doing anything wrong to us. I'm not doing something inappropriate or unpleasant. I'm just trying to liberate our whole family by awakening all of us, by making us all see the truth that He's made me see. Let's not fight or argue or debate over this. Please allow me and allow yourself to immerse in God. पानी में से पुरुष बनाया मड़मूत्र की क्यारी मिलिया राम ने सरिया काम अब न रही कोई से यारी के मैं हूँ. From one drop he made this human being. All of you were one drop, and now you are a fully functional body that can eat food, and from that food what comes off is merely excreta and urination. Inside this flesh lies nothing but just temporary decomposing, wearing and tearing of material things. From the time that we have found our Guru and God, our job is done. This vehicle was given to us only to find God. I am not breaking my friendship or relationship with you all, but we are all making a new relationship with God. He is our true friend. That is what we are entering into. Please understand. आगे तपसी तपसा करता रह गई किंचित कामा ते कारण नर तन धरिया सो जानत है रामा के मैं हूँ आदि. He is telling them that God has made me realized that in my previous birth, avatar, I was Bharatji, Rishabdev Bhagwan's son. I was a beautiful seeker of God, but I had karuna or daya on a deer who was suffering. Because of this suffering, he got a little attached and bondage to this deer. Because of this small bondage and attachment, he had to take a rebirth. But he was in mad love with God. Apart from this one attachment, he had no other attachment, and that caused him rebirth. He said, now I am urging you all, none of us should be attached to anything. Don't be attached to me. Otherwise, you will again have to take rebirths. Let us all free ourselves from all these attachments and immerse in God. जे कारण आनर तन धरिया वे सरिया है काम निष्कुलानंद कहे प्रगट मिले मोहे टड़िया नाम रूप ठाम के मैं हूँ आदि अनादिया तो सर्वे उपाधि. For this reason I took rebirth, and now I have overcome all these possessions and attachment. My job is done. I am here to tell you all should also overcome all of this, because we have found Pragat Bhagwan. We have found Sakshat God in human form. Through these scriptures, through these stories, through these Keertans, we all have also found Sakshat God in our life. He says, now I have overcome my name, this body, this identity, this address, this belonging, and I belong only and only to the Almighty. After this awakening, I request you all to not stop me, to not resist this transcendence and transformation happening in all our lives. I'm here, I'm not going anywhere. In fact, I'm taking you all along with me to become one with God again. Let us all travel this journey together. Let me completely surrender and renunciate to God. You all also become one with God. And let us all get out of this upadhi, this trouble of ignorance, into light, into awakening, thanks to the grace of God. This is the beautiful story behind this beautiful bhajan. Sahajanand Swami Maharaj.